We have another segment of our new series called Off the Shelf with ARC Appalachia today.
That's right. WCHS executive producer Cindy Atkins is talking to authors who highlight Appalachia through their words.
In today's segment, we hear from Christina Ferko on her debut young adult horror novel, The Darkness Greeted Her.
This atmospheric tale follows a group of troubled teenage girls placed in the Appalachian wilderness.
The Darkness Greeted Her is about a teen girl that goes to a remote therapy camp in the Appalachian wilderness, where she's stalked and hunted by her deepest fears and traumas and has to figure out what's real and what's not.
Growing up in Maryland, author Christina Ferko says she was always drawn to the legends and folklore surrounding the Appalachian Mountains, and that set the tone for her debut novel, The Darkness Greeted Her.
I've just always been drawn to the folklore of the woods and Appalachia and stuff, and the monsters. Even here in Maryland, I think some of our folklore monsters come from there and stuff like that. And then there's also just something just extra creepy about something as vast as Appalachia and the woods and mountains that you're really powerless if you were to be put in this situation.
The novel follows Penny, who, following a series of traumatic events, is trying to get a handle on her OCD, not knowing if the terrors that follow her are real or if they're only in her own head.
I like to thread the needle between psychological horror and paranormal horror, and coming from mental health stuff, there's a lot of you can't really trust yourself sometimes. And so I took that with my main character, Penny, and she has such an unreliable narration because she doesn't know if what's happening is something she's creating in her head or if it's real until, well, it goes too far and it's obviously real. But yeah, I think it's important to also show stories about mental health in a light that's not all negative, and also doesn't have a magical cure-all at the end. So that's what I really wanted to write with this.
The rest of the cast is made up of a diverse group of characters attending Camp Whitewood, an exclusive therapy retreat set in the Appalachian Mountains.
I think that diversity is pretty important for all stories, and if I can help add to it from stories that I know that I can write, I'm glad to add to the diversity there. Appalachia probably lends itself to horror pretty well, being a book that's so much about mental health and trying to not show it all in being a hardship or negative completely and stuff. I did want to show the different types of trauma that other people can have and how it can affect them in different ways also. So I did really want to add in just these little tiny interstitials of the other characters' little histories and perspectives.
While anyone of any age can enjoy a good horror story, Ferko says it's important to write these narratives for the teen audience.
YA has a soft spot in my heart. I love it. I love the way that you can take a character who is just navigating the world for the first time. They're not necessarily have a ton of history and hardened some of the adult stories can be. I did write it intentionally as YA, and I really like being able to write stories for teens, and if that happens to cross over to adults enjoying it, that is great too. This story is pretty heavy and dark sometimes, so I can see why some adults would also enjoy it too. But there are content warnings at the beginning for anybody that might want to know what's in it before starting it.
For Off the Shelf, I'm Cindy Atkins.